Hi, Boy here. Did you know that currently at TI, Wraith King got picked twice as many times as an offlaner than a carry, whilst having 75% win rate in that role? What changed with this hero? For starters, the skeleton build got buffed countless times and people just didn't bother to read. Now when you stun people, not only skeletons are gonna follow that target, but they're gonna get 25 move speed and 25 attack speed when you do so. Your ulti now spawns skeletons when you die, and your shard increases the number of skeletons. So at level 18 with shard, you spawn 6 skeletons per hero around you. It's honestly crazy. They have 3 times more armor than before. T1 towers now need 3 hits to kill 1 skeleton. And when you consider that you can easily summon up to 8 and they have 2 lives, it means that a tier 1 tower needs 40 seconds to get rid of 1 volley of skeletons. This is the main reason this hero is now a really good offlaner. He destroys tier 1 towers like they are nothing. They got a 25% damage to heroes buff. The skeletons were already the bane of supports, but in general, Wraith Kings were farming the jungle in the 8 to 18 minute timing, which was usually when the skeletons would be the scariest, but not anymore, baby.
No.
In the past, Wraith King was strong because he had a 60-second cooldown reincarnation and he could force fights every minute, he could force high ground every minute without ages. And that cooldown is now 100, which makes eggs a necessity now because it reduces the cooldown of it. But guess what? Eggs is not a carry item, it's a 4k of wasted gold in a way. Then you can also take a look on his talents and you will see that the non-skeleton talents are pretty trash, which doesn't necessarily translate to how a carry wants to play. All of that combined transformed this hero in an offlaner, and he was probably considered trash because up to TI or close to it, no one attempted to understand where this hero is supposed to be placed. If I had to choose one team fight to represent what Wraith King is right now, it's this one. Before we get there though, when you're fighting, it's always better to stun after most of your skeletons are already summoned, because only the ones that were already alive are gonna aggro to whatever you stun. In this case, there were no other targets for the skeletons to aggro to, but sometimes that could be the difference maker in getting a kill. But yeah, this here is very similar to, let's say, a Razor. Like, he can be a carry, but he's also a really good position 1.5 to have playing from your offlane. You don't necessarily want him to be your only win condition, but given enough space, he can also be that guy too. Now that you understand why this hero is so strong, let's talk about the things he can do in game. The first thing you're gonna notice is that he has insane sustain. This hero level 5 is critting for about 130 damage, and it's gonna lifesteal 40% of that. If it's a creep, it gets reduced by 40% again. So this means Wraith King lifesteals 30 HP from each crit that it does at this stage. It basically means this hero has a tango going on 100% of the time. Unlike most of the greedy melee offlaners, you rarely need regen past the first couple levels, and this allows you to hit your timings fast. In fact, the sustain is so strong and the lifesteal was buffed so much that a lot of offlaners, like Zai here, are going for treads and using agi treads in lane because you get more value out of the attack speed and the lifesteal that comes from it than going for phase boots and just a slightly stronger crit. It's physically impossible not to take a tier 1 tower before minute 10 playing Wraith King. Carries usually start jungling before that point and most supports can't really handle the skeletons. Even if the carry tries to stay in the lane, you can see heroes like CK just being totally pushed out of the lane. You can try to overwhelm the tower at minute 5 with your skeletons and catapult, but even if you don't succeed this early, you will be able to eventually take the tower. You probably think the idea of Wraith King offlane is bad because he farms too much. But if you think about the way Beastmaster plays, he pretty much does the same thing. He camps the enemy big jungle after taking tier 1 tower, and farms until he wants to fight. In fact, unlike Beastmaster, Wraith King has the option of bringing his skeletons with him by TPing to a fight, or keeping them in the lane and TPing without them. The similarities to Beastmaster just add up. As you can see, it's quite easy to force side lanes, creating pressure on one side while you move to the other one through the twin gates. Whisper takes the bottom tier 1 tower here, which means there's less likelihood that heroes are going to be on the top side since they have to respond to the creeps in the bottom side. Even though Hard is not a common item on Wraith King, you can pretty much say he has the item built into his own skill kit by having 2 lives. This means that this hero is supposed to either initiate fights or posture himself in a way that he gets initiated. Blink Dagger is really good on both cases because it allows you to initiate supports, but it's also a way to blink out of your ult in fights you have no business taking. Sometimes though, Silver Edge is gonna be necessary against the likes of Bristleback, Phantom Assassin, etc. Let your team know about your eggs being up. Not only people often forget that eggs is available and they lose a big duration of the Wraith form, a lot of people also don't know that eggs gives you 70 attack speed and 25% move speed when you're in that form. Notice, kills a PA after dying here just because of the bonus, and heroes like Sniper, Shadow Fiend, any gap closing heroes or range heroes can still dish a lot of damage during the Wraith form. Your role in late game fights, once you have eggs, is divided in two modes. Mode number 1 is simple. When you have reincarnation, initiate or be initiated. You're going to be soaking damage, using blade mail, and dishing as much damage as you can. If the fight isn't over after your reincarnation gets popped, then you have to go to mode 2. In this scenario, your goal is to stay alive. Not only because you're a core, but because your eggs is a key aspect of teamfights now. Whether it's by a core that would have died using a key spell like Puck using Coil here after dying, or just buying time for your ult to come back, you should only commit to another target in mode 2 when you are sure you're not going to die because of it. Before I show you the skill build though, I have something quite exciting to talk to you guys about. I'm starting a keyboard brand with a couple of friends that are woodworkers. This keyboard is fully mechanical. The outside is fully made of wood and it's also portable. These are the prototypes we have available at the moment, and I'm giving one of them away for anyone that joins my Patreon until we reach 150k subs on YouTube. They are all done by hand. They are really a work of love, and I just want to know what you guys think about it. In the past, I used to weekly update a list of the best heroes of the patch alongside PDF files that included info on when to pick each hero, item builds and its variations, all the hero timings, as well as tips on how to counter and deal with counters. And we're gonna get back to that. So don't miss the keyboard promotion and the special prices on Patreon that will never be this low in the future. This is a promotion for the next 30 days. Finally, for Wraith King, there are several builds available, and I will share the brain dead one since I think it's the easiest to execute. You're gonna start with double gloves, double branch, and a stick. Then your progression is going to be bracer, into phase boots, into blade mail, into radiance and blink. From here, the sky is the limit, and there's a lot of different approaches to the hero. Toby likes to go Shiva's AC eggs into the super aura sort of Wraith King. Some people never buy Blink and they get Shadow Blade after Radiance every single game. I personally think eggs should be core after Blink, but test it out and see how you feel about it. Skill build is also not that hard. You always want to look like this at level 3, and then you're gonna get your crit at level 4. You want to max or get 3 points on your W depending on how easy the enemy can handle your skeletons in the lane that you are. And then you're gonna max your crit, then your stun. Always learn your talents whenever they are available, left side for every single one of them, besides the last one. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I apologize for such a long section with Patreon and the keyboard, but these are two things I'm very passionate about, and I promise it's not gonna take such a big portion of the next videos. Oh, by the way, let me know what you think about the skill build being at the end. A lot of people complained that it was hurting the flow of the video when it was in kind of the middle of everything, so this is a new task, and I would love to hear what you guys think about it.